Vancouver, thank you. And he's going to talk about opportunities in blockchain-driven fractional ownership. Super interesting topic, and I think as an enabling technology, very important for us to all get our heads around to identify opportunities in our markets.
Absolutely.
So thank you. Thank you, Thomas.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for your time. I've learned a lot, learned from a lot of the speakers here today. This is my first time ever at this event. Today, we're going to talk about blockchain, we're going to talk about fractionalization, and we're going to talk also about compliance, because compliance is a big aspect for Western world countries. So my name is Thomas Park. I am the CEO and co-founder of Reitium. I've been a realtor in the Vancouver market for the past 19 years. I've sold over $500 million worth of residential real estate. I was in the tech industry in the early 90s. I was selling computers, then started a web development company in 1997, went through the dot-com boom and bust. Shortly after that, I got into real estate. So 90% of my portfolio of clients in real estate are investors. And about 6 years ago, one of my affluent clients called me and said, Thomas, we don't care where you buy assets. We have the capital. We want to fix and flip these properties. And you have to identify the properties, in which I did. And in that calendar year, I made them $1 million fixing and flipping 2 condos in downtown Vancouver. So I have family dinner with my mom and 3 older sisters every week. And we talk about real estate all the time, just like everybody here will probably talk about real estate, because it's always a hot topic. And we talked about myself making my clients $1 million. My mom leans over and says, I've saved $30,000. Go make me $1 million. I'm like, Mom, sorry, I can't help you. Obviously, $30,000 isn't even enough for a down payment, especially in a market like Vancouver. So my mom, unrelentless, goes to church, comes back a week later, and basically says, I have 6 girlfriends. We all have $30,000. Now go make us the same returns. And that was the light bulb moment. How many people out there have a little bit of money, want to invest into real estate, but can't? So what is the problem? Real estate's expensive, and that's everywhere. I can hear it from everybody talking here today. You have to have a large down payment requirement. You need to have good credit and make a decent income to support that mortgage. So this excludes majority of the world's population from buying and investing in real estate. And now talking to a lot of the portals here, and what we've found is that talking about your conversion rates, and the average conversion rates that I was hearing that the portals are actually having is roughly about 3 to 7%. So what happens to the other 95% of leads that come through your portals that you don't monetize? I'll go into that a little bit later. So everybody said the same thing, largest asset class in the world, we all know that. The US housing market is a $33 trillion market. And just millennial savings in the United States is over $700 billion sitting in bank accounts, on average less than $5,000, collecting virtually no interest and getting eaten up by inflation. So we also have to think about the rest of the world's population that can't actually get into real estate assets. So we created Reitium. It's a real estate marketplace utilizing blockchain that allows anybody to invest into income-producing properties, and they get to share the rental income and appreciation through fractional ownership. Now, everyone can get on the property ladder and start building their wealth sustainably through real estate investing. So as we all know, buying and selling real estate is a paperwork nightmare. And it has to pass through many, many hands, and depending on markets. However, we made the investment process very simple. In less than 5 minutes, in 5 easy steps, you can see the opportunities on our platform. You can set up an account, connect your bank account, buy the opportunity, and then within your phone, you can actually be able to watch your dividends or see your dividends and watch your properties appreciate. Then you can sell your position within that property anytime after the lockup periods. So what is fractional ownership of real estate? It's a type of ownership where multiple people own the same property, and you can have 2 people, you can have 10 people, you can have 500, you can have 1,000. And how we do it is a little bit different. We actually have a corporation that buys the real estate asset, we digitize the share structure, and then we allow the individual investors with $100, $500, $1,000 to be able to buy the shares within the corporation that owns the asset. So the title never changes. But we have a live digital cap table that will allow people to buy in and out of that property. After lockup periods, Western countries, we have to hold the investment for a year. But if you're going into other countries that have less sophisticated securities rules, we're able to actually facilitate a secondary trade instantaneously. So all your shares will give you rights to ownership, dividends, and appreciation, and ensure all investments are going to be compliant within Canada and the United States. So we knew from day one that we were selling a security. We're selling that shares within the corporation that owns the asset. This means that we had to follow all rule sets with the Canadian and US governments. And so we follow the legal instruments that are available to us in North America. So we'll use an offer memorandum in Canada, we'll use Reg D, Reg CF, and Reg A Plus in the United States. And then basically we have to follow all those rule sets. And then we were just approved for the first robo-advisor platform in Canada to allow anybody to invest into private placements or private real estate without an advisor. And that took us, a license took us 2 years to attain. So we make the platform frictionless. We treat everybody as a retail investor. The challenge right now, when you're taking investments, it's a paperwork nightmare. But because we treat everybody as a retail investor, we're enabling them to just do KYC, which is Know Your Customer, AML. We restrict the maximum amount that you're allowed to invest onto the platform, which is $2,200 in the United States and $2,500 in Canada. However, our platform, we have suitability. So if somebody wants to invest more than that, we're going to ask them for more questions. We can determine how much they make in a calendar year, what province or state that they're from, how much debt they have, and then our platform will spit out a number saying that you can invest $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in that calendar year. So we digitized that investment process. Traditionally, it would take an hour and a half to 2 hours to onboard one client. We can do it, like I mentioned, in 5 minutes. And if they want to do suitability, it'll take us another 20 minutes. We can now also take registered funds, so TFSAs, so tax-free savings accounts, registered retirement savings plans within Canada and the United States, as well as if we can actually have EB5 eligible properties within our platform, so people can actually invest into deals within America and Canada, or more so America, and then be able to take smaller chunks in investments and build that wealth over time, so hopefully that they can apply for EB5 at a later point. So what is blockchain? And I used to sell computers in the early 90s. I would sell 10 computers a day, my colleagues would sell one, because I made something very difficult, very easy for everybody to understand. So blockchain, all it is, it's a ledger. And that ledger, if you had Simon has $10,000 in a bank, and there's one ledger, and somebody hacks that bank, it's easy to get that information. But what we have is that digital ledger is on multiple computers around the world, with Simon having $10,000 into that one, let's say, in his bank. And that ledger is on thousands of computers around the world. And so if somebody tried to steal or hack to get into stealing Simon's $10,000, it'd be very difficult because they would have to hack all the computers at the same time. So we are not crypto. People automatically assume because we're using blockchain as a store of information, ownership rights, rights of dividends, and appreciation, we don't use crypto in any of our investments because it is not allowed in the United States and Canada. So lastly, we built a secondary marketplace to allow liquidity for all of our investors. And again, compliance is a big component to our platform. A retail investor in the United States cannot sell to another retail investor. They can only sell to accredited. And we have this all enforced within our platform. If they're coming in from another country that doesn't have this, again, very basic security rules, Latin America, some countries in Southeast Asia, even in Africa, we can facilitate a secondary trade. And so there is the opportunity for other portals that are running in these other markets. So investors will be able to search location, view expected returns, review all legal documents so that they can make an informed decision. And the types of properties that we already have on our platform, in Canada, we've already done $18 million in real estate investments, but the types of properties that we will have is short-term rental funds, senior housing, student housing, self-storage, multifamily properties, new construction, hotels, motels, mobile home parks. So you can get a truly diversified real estate portfolio on our platform. Recession-proof properties are going to be student housing, senior housing, self-storage, multifamily properties. So we are a two-sided marketplace, and this is how we make revenue. For the individual investors investing on properties on our platform, we don't charge anything. Your $100 investment goes 100% into the share structure within that corporation that owns that asset. We charge the asset owner a 5% fee to raise capital within our platform, and what they love is that we've digitized their process, making it easier for them to take a lot of investors into the platform because, again, it was a paperwork nightmare. And if people want to sell their position within that asset again after lockup periods, we can facilitate that secondary trade. and we charge 3% for that. So what I've learned over the past couple days is that a lot of the portals here have subscription models, they have commission models, and they're looking for new ways to generate revenues. And we see this with realtors and mortgage brokers as we see that there might be a pending recession. With interest rates going as high as they are, we're starting to see real estate markets slow down. So what are realtors and mortgage brokers doing? They're looking at all their alternatives and how they can make money. So with partnering with us, we can help you monetize that 95% of leads that don't convert. Our barriers to entry is only $100. And so what that means is that you can actually offer and become a referral partner to Reitium, onboard your 95% of leads that didn't convert, that cost you a lot of money on your social media, buying all your AdWords and trying to bring that traffic into your platforms to try to convert them to actually sell or to buy real estate. But now, because our barriers to entry is only $100, we have the ability to help you monetize with our referral engine. We'll be able to track every single person that you bring onto our platform, see what they invested in, how much your commissions will be once they make a successful investment within our platform. So this is a type of partner that we have in the United States. His name's Ken Clothier. He is a family office in San Diego. He's an advisor, he's an investor, and he's a partner to us. He sells about 1,200 to 1,400 properties per year. He does 400 wholesale deals over and above that. He has 4 Reg D funds ranging from $10 million to $40 million, only taking accredited investors. Minimum investment's $25,000. He sold a course, real estate course, 103,000 of them. And also he has a real estate mastermind where he has 230 people paying him $30,000 to $60,000 per year. So being a partner to us, I was able to present to him, and he said, Thomas, this is amazing. You're newfound money for me. I have 300,000 leads for investors that I can't get into my deals because I can only take accredited and they have to have a minimum of $25,000 investment. But now, I can get the non-accredited investors into my deals, and they can put 500, they can put 1,000, they can put $2,500 to their deals, but then he can go through his network where he's already trusted and people already know, like, and trust him, so that we can actually help him monetize. Reitium actually benefits, he actually benefits. This is another partner, also an investor and advisor to our company. He is the #1 realtor in Canada, sold over $41 billion in sales in 2021. His goal with us is to onboard 25 buildings, luxury buildings in Canada, primarily Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal. And what he wants to do is that he wants to fractionalize. So he spends, again, like you guys, spends a lot of money on marketing and advertising, only converts a very few percentages of his leads. But because now he can offer his properties fractionally, he can help sell his developments quicker. And so he sees the future of real estate investing is actually going to be the fractionalization. So we're very lucky to have my 2 co-founders, Laura Forte, Operations and Strategy, and then we have Michael Mall, my CTO. We have Tim Un, he is from Silicon Valley. He's raised over $70 million in venture funding, $3 billion in debt. And what I like about DK Kim, he's my head of business development, worked with the top 1% of realtors that has grossed over $1 million in commissions per year. And in 5 minutes, I onboarded the #1 RE/MAX agent in the world, who's onboarding 300,000 of his leads with a 5-minute conversation on how I can help him monetize his dead leads. So we're very fortunate to have these people as advisors and also investors into our company. I can go into a little detail. David Meltzer is an influencer, lost a $100 million real estate portfolio in 2008, gained it right back. When I met Solmi Kim, he was the US head of product for TikTok, now the president of Kajabi. We have James Huang, who's the president of eXp Realty Commercial, investor advisor. We have Thomas Tiedman, he's our longest standing advisor, senior vice president of Blackstone. So we have the very smart minds helping us with the real estate aspect, and then we have securities laws as well, security lawyers as well. So who would like to join our mission to democratize real estate investing? We're going to help billions of people that's never been able to enter the market and make real estate investing accessible for everyone, and we're going to help your portals make more money. So thank you very much for your time.
Thomas, thank you very much. As not unexpected, bring up the 101 questions that have come out of this, because I think it's quite interesting. There's a lot of questions that have been pulled up. Do you charge rent to individuals staying in the property you acquire?
Absolutely. So we are actually more so the marketplace. We do not take position in any of the properties within the platform, because that actually subjects us to potential risk. because of the fact is that if we take and we're promoting our own product and something happens to that product, it's a reflection on the platform. So we actually vet deals. So people are coming to us to list their deals in our marketplace, and then we'll see the assets, we'll see who's actually the GP, they go through an investment committee, and if they pass our investment committee, we'll list them on our platform. So there will be a fund manager and a property manager managing that property. We take no position in it.
Okay. Do you have any commitment to buy back shares? Or do you secure enough liquidity to overcome the trust issue of, I put my $100 in, I've just donated $100?
Yeah. So we don't have any requirements to actually provide the liquidity on the platform. You can put up your shares and say that you put in $1,000 and you wanted to sell 200 of them, 200 of those shares. It could go to 10 different people. It doesn't have to sell to one person. But we do not actually will provide liquidity. However, we've been approached by market makers that said that they wanted to buy everything in our secondary market, pre-package it, and put it as a bond. So it's quite interesting to see how people were looking at our platform.
It just depends on what price they buy it out at.
Exactly,
right?
yes. So you can offer at a discount.
Yeah.
So if you want faster liquidity, and then there's one other option is that we have a underwriter in the United States. So if Simon put $1,000 into a property, I can issue Simon a secured credit card for 50% of that holdings, so $500 at a 7% interest rate. If you pay it off within the first 30 days, there's no interest. But if you carry a balance at 7%, but you're just borrowing your own money.
Yep. Okay. That's what I like about the US. They're forever finding ways to get into your pocket.
Yes.
Okay. Who takes care of renting the assets out? I guess it's
the property manager.
Property manager.
Yeah. And
not your game.
Yeah.
Who is the largest established player in this space in North America?
So there's actually a few, and when we look at our competitors, there's some that have been in the markets, but only dealing with accredited investors. So they're not using blockchain, they don't have a secondary market, they don't have compliance, and they require the individual asset, the people that are raising capital, to actually have the compliance built for them. So they have to remain compliant, but we built that into our platform. So anybody that wants to raise capital, we handle the compliance for them.
So now, just so I clearly understand, the underlying real estate assets,
yes.
We're not talking about my home.
No.
We're talking about apartment buildings, we're talking about commercial.
Correct. Anything that generates a revenue stream so that we can pay out dividends. So Simon, if you said that you wanted liquidity on your single family house that you're living in, you're not going to pay us rent. No. Right? You're not going to pay the issuer's rent. So
and no one wants to buy $100 worth of my home.
Exactly.
Yep.
So we want to make sure that we actually provide dividends. Our whole goal is to teach financial literacy, to show how compounding interest works so that people can make investments, grow their wealth sustainably. You can invest $100 into the stock market or into crypto, you could lose it in a day.
Yep.
With our platform, the market might drop by 10%, but you're only losing 10% of your investment. But not only that, you're still getting a dividend from the rental income.
So at the simplest is, I got a building, it's tenanted.
Yes.
I want to create liquidity around it. I shove it in a company.
Yes.
Right? With X number of shares.
Correct.
Equivalent to $100 shares or something, right? It has to be some unit that is
yes.
equivalent. You basically, that's the fractional bit. You're basically then out selling the shares, right? And I can make 100% of it liquid. I can make 50% of it liquid. I can make 25%. It's just up to me. Just
absolutely.
It goes through then your committee.
Yes.
Which goes, wait a second, that return is good or that return is not accurate.
Correct.
Right? And then if it crosses the bar, you then put it out to the market.
Correct.
And I can buy my 100,000, or if I'm accredited, 25,000 up.
Correct.
Right. Sorry, more than 2,200.
Yeah.
Upwards. Okay. And away we go, and you basically farm out all those shares to the network.
Correct.
Right.
And a lot of asset owners in the United States, or even actually globally, actually don't really want to sell the whole entire asset. They still want to have some sort of ownership within there.
Of course.
And this actually allows them to get liquidity, still having ownership. They can still be the GP, the general partner on that asset. They can still be the property manager, so they still have ties into there and get some additional funds. But that's the whole part of the liquidity aspect.
So I've got to this far. Now, you then go to your partners who are real estate agents. They've got a whole bunch of leads coming in. They can't fulfill all the leads. So they become a distribution channel for you.
Absolutely.
Right? To buy lots of $100 shares, right?
Correct.
How many they want based on their network. What's in it for them?
So we actually can pay a fee. So in the United States and Canada, it's a flat fee.
So you said you're getting 5%. So I'm selling my building.
Correct.
I'm going to pay you 5%.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Commission.
Yes.
And then how much of that are you paying out
Yes.
to your network?
So from the non-accredited side, so the retail investors, in the United States, we can only pay a flat fee, and that's $30 per lead. So that makes an investment within the platform. But in other markets, in Southeast Asia, South America, Africa, we can actually pay out commissions, and we'll pay out 40% of our commissions directly to the
But to these guys that you know, the couple of
realtors.
realtors that you put up there, they're accredited. They must be, right?
They are.
Yeah, so they're betting what percentage of your 5%?
So actually, it's kind of funny because you know, you have to be licensed as a securities broker to sell securities. They can't talk about the offering. So I'll give you an example. We have a mortgage broker in Vancouver. He has over 100,000 leads that he's onboarding onto our platform. He can't monetize them because they've been sitting there. He nurtures them, and hopefully that they convert. But what he does with our platform is that now, if they make an investment now or later, we pay him $30. But these are actually for the non-accredited investors that are paying $100, $500. The average investment is $500.
Yep.
So they're getting paid $30. And if they actually are able to onboard 1,000 of those people to actually invest, it's actually newfound money for them.
Well, it's actually a 30% commission,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
At its worst case,
Yes.
it's 30% commission.
Correct.
Right, and up to a $2,000, you said? They could,
2,500 in Canada, 22 in the United States.
okay,
Yeah.
call it 2,500, $30, I'm getting whatever it works with, 1%
Yes.
So somewhere between 30% and 1%
Correct.
I can make from all my dead leads.
Correct.
Now I get it.
Yes.
Okay, are you capital raising?
Yes. So we are raising capital for our company. We're in a seed round right now.
There you go. Talk to me if you want to invest. We've talked about who the largest player in the US is. Okay. As the property is a non-fungible, property investment requires researching and doing due diligence. I assume people are basically putting their trust in your brand for doing that. So you're doing all that work.
So we actually use a third-party company that will look at the assets.
Yeah.
So again, we want to take the risk away from us. And then so if they will do the third-party vetting, because if it comes from us, they're like, well, you vetted the deal and it took a 20% loss.
But at the end of the day, the implied trust is in your brand.
Correct. And you're totally
The
right.
legal trust isn't,
Yeah.
just the implied trust.
Yes, implied trust for sure.
Okay, got it. What countries do you think you'll open up for other projects?
So right now, the opportunity lies with countries that are emerging. The ones that have securities laws are immature still. And being able, somebody with $500, let's say in Africa, will never have the opportunity to buy real estate in the United States. Absolutely zero. But because of fractionalization, because of digitization and automation with our platform, now that's the opportunity. They have no accreditation status. There's no retail eligible or accredited investor in those markets. They can actually invest within our platform as long as we do KYC, know your customer, AML for anti-money laundering, when they paid, how they paid, and then just proof of funds.
Okay. How do people make sure they get their money back when the asset is sold not using the platform?
So through lawyers. So everything actually goes through lawyers. The money that is, they'll look at the corporation. The corporation will have a digital cap table plus a live cap, a normal cap table that will have all the owners and then how much they've invested. And then basically when the property sells, then it's distributed through them, through our platform.
Yeah, but I would have thought putting it on the blockchain makes life so much easier, right?
It does. It absolutely does. And a lot of people actually, when you look at it from their perspective, is we do not talk about blockchain. We don't talk about technology. Our whole thesis is you can now invest in real estate starting with $100. Because what I've learned is confusion leads to no. And if I lead in with, we're tokenizing real estate, we're actually offering this, this, and this, and this under the sun, all about technology, we're gonna lose majority of the world's population. All the portals in here, if I lead in and say, hey, we're tokenizing real estate that you can buy real estate in the United States, we're gonna lose majority of those buyers. But if you can say, hey, now you can invest in real estate, get a dividend and also appreciation through this platform, and they're regulated in Canada and the United States, builds trust.
Now, all these payments and like the 7% return or whatever, is that built into the blockchain? So
Yes.
built into the digital contract?
Correct. It is. And those will be paid out actually in dividends. With the account that they set up with us, we can pay out the dividends directly to them.
Okay, and can be paid in crypto?
So in Canada and the United States, absolutely not. But we would, if they wanted to be paid in crypto, it would be done through a third party. Because there's so much volatility. If I actually took one Bitcoin, it's worth $23,000 today, but drops tomorrow at 17,000.
Okay, yeah,
we can't have that.
You'll pay out whatever currency I want. Well, I guess at the moment it's Canadian dollars and US dollars.
Correct.
Right, and that's what everyone feels comfortable with. Look, there's a bucket load more questions. We've run out of time. Thomas, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Simon.
interesting.
Thank you very much.
What are you doing?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.